All right, and we are back. Hello, guys. Welcome back. We are in it to win it as we enter into the second half of Episode 5. So, who's ready for a dungeon crawl?
Oh my god, combat?
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready.
Am I done being sized up, or?
I was born unready, but made myself very ready.
Very good.
Og.
Very good.
That's what she said.
Let's get you prepped for this. Go ahead and finish out whatever RP you guys need to for this time before we start making our way into the Necropolis.
Well then, I was gonna say, well then, if you're sent for the consortium, then welcome, I guess.
The auditorium, that way, sir. Keep your voice down.
Lead the way.
Before we go in, I would like to try and locate a, I believe it's a candle in a small bag.
Okay.
I already have the candles, actually. I think it's a small candle and, a tiny bag and a small candle.
All right. That should be easy enough for you to find.
Abasi's gonna try and pull on. He's tiny. He's trying to pull on Neferani's arm to get her to lean down so he can whisper something. He'll be like, "Listen, I don't care who sent him. I don't know this man. Well, I maybe haven't known you guys for the longest time in the world. I would keep an eye on him if I were you. Lots of people are looking to get real stabby to get their hands on some shiny things."
That's true, but he had a picture of us.
Yeah, so did the people that want to cut my head off for 1,000 gold.
But they didn't have the seal on their thing.
I mean, that's true. That's true. I'm just saying, keep it close.
We know he's with the consortium.
I'm keeping a close eye on you. So of course,
that's fair. That's also fair.
Xanjafar, you can tell that they're huddling up at this point about you. Pilakka is not exactly keeping it quiet. Abasi is trying to keep it in muffled tones.
I'm not keeping it quiet.
Yeah.
He seems to care about Abasi.
Yeah.
I'm not even fazed by it because I've been in similar scenarios before, and I kind of just brush it off and let them do as they please.
All right. So something that is a bit of a gift to you guys from the audience in the beginning of the session, Bulbasaur, who is viewing right now, decided to put a potion in for everyone. A Cure Light potion goes to everybody. So make sure
Thank you, Bulba.
Make sure you include that in your stash. That is the equivalent of 1d8 plus 1. That's going to heal you, just in case you need it. So that's important, and we can go from there. Yeah, you
slowly amassing Cure Light Wounds potions.
It's important. It's going to be very, very good for you. Just be careful. Be careful. We found that in a random wild magic surge, all of their potions were turned into poisons. Yeah.
That's good to know that can happen.
It's on the chart, yes. Yes. So, that being said, let's move right ahead. I will let you guys know right now that if you are watching stream as a player, you are going to see the dungeon. I would not recommend that you hard watch the stream. That if you wish to, you can keep the chat up. That's fine. But if you are actually watching stream, you're going to see things before your character actually gets there. And it will take away from that immersive effect.
All right, pop out chat.
Just figured I'd let you
know. Good call. Pop out.
All right.
So you saved me again.
Wait, so I'm making the map big? Is that what I'm doing?
No, you...
just saying, don't look at stream if you don't want to see the dungeon ahead of time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
If you look ahead of time, you're going to see some of the things that are going to be coming before. And not only will it ruin your immersive experience,
you may
be predisposed to acting upon meta knowledge.
Right.
It's like seeing through the eyes of God. It'll drive you crazy.
Metagaming is not fun.
No. What do you mean? I love playing the meta.
I love metagaming.
Oh my god.
I'm here to min-max my witch.
You fucked up in character construction, my friend. When you were like, I'm 15,000 years old. That was your first mistake.
Yeah.
15,000 years old, level 1.
Yep.
It's not exactly my prime physically.
That's why I baked in losing my god to my backstory. I'm like, if I gotta be level 1 and have to know things, I have to have fucked up somewhere.
True enough. For the rest of today's session, the only thing that the audience can do is heal you. There is divine magic that they can heal an individual or the group, but not like 2 or 3. It's either 1 or all. And they can do that 3 times total in use, and they can heal 1 enemy once if they desire it to be. Now, this is... I don't hold hands too much when it comes to the dungeon crawl. If you proceed without caution, you can die. Your character will die. So all of this backstory that you've given and these reactions, this is something that separates the wheat from the chaff in the situation here. You're going to find that there are traps, that there are monsters, and there are things that are designed to kill you. You could become cursed. You could just wind up in an early grave, and that's just something I wanted to warn you about. I'm not going to hold back my rolls. You are going to see them right on the side. So if I natural 20 on an attack against you and I succeed in a critical, I have a critical effects set of cards that determines what happens. Also, on the same end of the spectrum, I have a critical fail chart that is prepared to assist with this. So I'm going to be fair, and I'm going to have to be as stern as I possibly can, because you guys are now getting assistance from the chat. They are your divine gods, and they're looking after you. So, know your place in the overall spectrum of combat. Strategy is going to be very important. Abasi is very clearly the tank. Donkor is a rogue, so is Xanjafar, but I know that they specify in very different areas. Pilakka is squishy. Very much so. And Neferani
is not what you would call a frontline fighter.
That's right.
Pilakka's not a fighter. Stiff breeze or a tiny rock.
Put her out front. I'm sure she'll be fun.
Yes, I think Pilakka is this is a game of like protect the president. And Pilakka is said president here, at least in this regard. She's going to be very useful to you in a lot of ways. It's not like she's only here for roleplay. She certainly has many capabilities, but I want you to be ever thinking about how you proceed in the trials and tribulations before you.
That's funny, man. I have almost 3 times your HP and almost twice your AC. Oh, I can't wait to watch you explode.
You have 22 AC. What?
22
no,
HP.
No, 20 HP.
Oh, 8. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
8. Holy moly.
Yep. I have a -1 Constitution modifier.
Ooh, I got a
well then.
Noted.
Yeah. That's the downside of playing a caster. Casters are not very hardy.
I'm also a Tengu.
Yeah, even if you play something that happens to have a Constitution buff, that is just a side effect of the situation. So, she's playing a Tengu, and I think you get a negative to con, don't you?
Yeah, Tengu have a negative to con, and Age has a negative to con.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
So I think her base con is actually not too bad. It's just there's so many negative modifiers against it.
I think it's like a 13 or a 14, and it's just this low because of age and race.
Yeah, I think all of my base rolls nothing was below a 13 or a 14. Yeah,
it's pretty gross. Pretty gross. So we're here now. You guys together as a squad, you make your way through the audience of the people, probably discussing how it is that you're going to handle this before you find yourselves staring up at the precipice of the wall. The walls before you have kept people out for hundreds of years. This is a momentous occasion here. This hasn't happened in ever, and now it's a thing. As you stare on, watching these well-guarded, momentous walls that defend the Necropolis from you, or defend you from the Necropolis, we're not really sure yet, you see that there is some kind of brief incantation from Seti, as she spins a talisman on Thumb, and it looks more like a prayer rod that moves. It's basically a spinning rod, and it seems to unbind what sedents this wall together, what adhesed it closed for so long. And when she does so, the image of Pharasma, the soul visage of Pharasma, appears over the door before it fades, and then the walls slide open for the gate. Before you is an area that has not been searched in close to 1,000 years. It has been scathed by the sun and carrion alone. Whatever lurks beyond these walls is guaranteed to give you problems. She's given you a destination, and you are searching that out. Did you share, Neferani, did you share the talisman with everyone? Did you show them what that might be?
Yeah, when I came back to the group, I came back with it like forward.
Okay.
Did you do it discreetly? Oh, not at all.
No.
Oh God.
All right.
Okay.
So.
But I would have waited till we were all together. So I would say quasi discreetly. Like I wasn't trying to be discreet, but like in a circle with us. So someone would have had to have been like, not that they weren't, but
in the party have knowledge history.
That's actually what I was going to ask. The people that may know in this situation is probably Xanjafar or Donkor.
Nope, don't know shit.
I have knowledge dungeoneering, but I don't have history.
You could make an untrained check if you don't have that. So just go ahead and click on history.
Okay.
We need a knowledge bird.
Negative. Remember, you guys do have luck rerolls for what it's worth. I don't know if others will be coming through, but you do still have 2 of those.
Nope. I use mine. I don't know shit.
Yeah, I don't want to use that.
All right. I like how I've already sedented the fear of dungeon crawl. It's a good feeling. Okay. All right. You have been given the destination that is known as the Tomb of Akentepi. Akentepi is a legendary war general that settled in Wati before retiring. Upon his death, he was given a tomb, a very large tomb at that. You know its destination. You know what awaits. Visibly, on the surface, it's not going to look like much. But you've already been instructed that it dips into the earth. So you'll have to find out what happens there when you ascend, or descend for that matter. Okay. Are we ready?
As we make our way here, Pilakka wants to keep an eye out for anybody who might be following them. I assume several groups are trickling into the walled city.
The groups are, yes. The randoms that have been waiting, they are not allowed. In fact, you may see a few people accost the guards so that they can wander in, but they are not offered that opportunity.
Okay.
Your map is going to change, and I'm going to show everybody what's happening on said map. And I'm going to give you Necropolis song. You are... Wait, let's try that again. You are here. Upper right-hand corner, you're going to have to zoom in.
So the only areas that I can see are here and here.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me fix that.
I'm pretty much attacking the darkness again.
Yeah.
All right.
Darkness.
All right.
Kingdom Hearts.
So, Abasi, you have dark
I
vision.
attack the darkness.
Magic missile.
I probably want to light my torch at this point because I'm the only one that can't see in the dark.
Neferani.
Yeah, I always see darkness, by the way.
I got you.
I can finally see. I love how I can see just slightly, though.
I see a murder victim and Sokka from Avatar.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Everybody, yeah,
Hold
we seen
that
this.
thought.
Sokka, why?
Why did you murder him?
Advanced.
You were such a good boy.
He took my boomerang.
Oh no.
He's in that room trying to bury the boomerang.
See, and here I'm like, you mean like the big blue people? They're on that.
Oh no.
Dances
No.
with wolves?
No, the good Avatar.
Okay.
Wow.
What? You like recreations of Pocahontas and CGI?
Hey,
Listen, I liked the CGI at the time.
Yeah, but
if
Sorry.
you go on the
I
ride,
bet you're one of
to
those people who like Ghost in the Shell.
I've never watched Ghost in the Shell.
No, I mean
I'm
the new one.
Oh,
If
no,
I go-
not
action.
that either.
there's a ride at Disney now?
There's a whole Avatar land.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Oh,
why
God.
are they building this? And then I went on the ride, and it is literally my favorite ride at any theme park that I have ever been on in my life.
That's okay. You
And
seem like a person who goes to a lot of theme parks.
I am. And it is I have high expectations. It was literally the best ride I've ever been on, and it was it made me like the movie more.
Honestly, I'm down with that. I am so up for like
It was so
liking
good.
things more just for associations. Like
100%.
because of Umbrella Academy, I'm really into the song I Think We're Alone Now. So, you know.
I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
want to be anyone around.
Yeah. I love that song now.
I bought the
I
comics,
have
and they're
that
nothing like the
on-
show.
I have
They
that
are.
on a vinyl.
The show is so much better than the comics. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
You do?
Yeah. I'm 45
Jealous.
years old.
Oh my god.
I lived through Tiffany and Debbie Gibson. Like, I literally dressed like them.
I was born in
I had a
88.
hat. Like I had like the flat, like the black wide brim hat with the like in the big hair on top. My senior picture.
With the big hair. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Oh,
That's amazing.
Pixar didn't happen.
It was a St. Jude reward last year. My community will tell you. It was amazing.
Sorry,
No worries at all. I was living in that moment too.
okay. I didn't want to detract from our limited time.
All right,
Went from
friendos.
Sokka murdering people to big hair. Nice.
A rectangular stone mausoleum sits alone in what appears to have once been an actual cemetery. The trunks of a few dead trees poke out of the sand around the tomb, and a hot breeze whistles through the desiccated branches. A set of massive stone double doors is affixed to the northern side of the structure, beneath a facade bearing the likeness of an Osirian man. Wind-blown sand is heaped around the crypt, partially burying the doors that lead within. You guys can see just fine now, correct?
Yes.
Yes. I'm sorry. Is it pitch black in here or?
You're not inside yet. You're still technically outside.
Okay, and it's still daytime. Can I cast Read Magic and maintain it while I'm moving?
You can, with concentration checks, if you wish to maintain it, because it does have a limitation. I'm curious, though, for what purpose?
Pilakka would just like to be just trying to read as soon as she's inside the walled city, she's scanning for magic. And just trying to not only look for things to inspect, but also just kind of get a read of the area and how magically attuned it is.
Okay, so Detect Magic and Read Magic are going to work a little differently. You are going to be able to see in the arcane spectrum, but in order to trigger your next enchantment-style spell, you're going to have to turn that off so you can read magic.
Sure. Yeah, she didn't necessarily want to read magic, just detect.
Sure.
I might have said
Perfect.
read, but yeah.
Well, you're above ground, standing in front of this mausoleum, in a courtyard, a cemetery of stone slabs that seem to be half buried by sand. Most of the stone has since been weathered away. You can no longer see any of the names of the people that reside here. However, a tomb of a war general would have a mausoleum of sorts. It's very fitting. You found your location. It's been given to you very clearly. You peer in the arcane spectrum, and through the weave of the arcane in this place, nothing really stands out immediately in the mausoleum. You know that this can be detracted from many walls. If there are many walls in this place, you will see that everything is either numbed, dulled, or non-existent. And you get some faint traces as you peer around to the other buildings, but that is not of your concern.
Okay. Then I'm gonna cease the reading of magic. And for the record, when Pilakka is specifically reading magic, there isn't much of a visual change except that her blind eye starts paying attention to specific things.
Sure.
It starts following the rest of her vision with her good eye.
Neferani, the talisman that you have brandishes the same figure that's on this this set of double doors. It's stylized the same exact way, though it's been weathered a little bit. The sand and the sun have done its damage of time. You are most certain that this is the location. Xanjafar still stays to the back, and Abasi seems a bit more terse or prepared.
Can I read any of the ancient Osirian on any of these things?
There isn't really much in the way of ancient Osirian on the wall itself. They more or less relied on the depiction. Probably at this time, it's likely that he was a fairly standout figure, and he had a bit of a reputation. So this mausoleum is probably well known, or at least was well known in its time.
All right, well, I'm going to approach the first door because we're here. It's time to go places.
Okay. When you move up close enough to the door, you can see that there are a series of dates that seem to be just written on the inside, not on the inside lip, but just close to the lip of where the doors come together, these stone doors. Do you wish to record those dates? I can have that for you if you like.
Yes, please. That might be useful information.
The dates are 2416 AR to 2488 AR. Do you say this out loud to anyone, or do you point it out?
Yeah, I'll read everything that I encounter out loud because I am now in the mindset of being inside of a necropolis. We're in what functioningly works as a holy place for me in my past life, and everything is important in regards to that to be known by the whole party so that none of us fuck up and get ourselves cursed or killed.
Sure. Okay, he seems to point out a series of numbers on the door, 2416 to 2488. It is likely a birth and death date, as you can recall. Anybody here... Is anybody here familiar with the Plague of Madness? Do you recall this from previous streams?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It was what happened when what led to the city being walled off.
Yes. If you two would like to, you can make a knowledge history, even if untrained. You can still try.
Okay.
Very good, Neferani. Killing it.
Where is
It's going to be a bit more difficult for Pilakka since she's not native to the region, but I think she can easily do it.
Sorry, my sheet's bugging out.
It's critical. Yeah, it's a critical fail. All right.
Wait, so all of us can make history check, or
If anybody was familiar with the plague, yes, they could.
Okay, so I wasn't there for that. So
yeah, you
seeing
probably
as
heard
that's
about it in passing,
the big
but
thing about this whole place being locked, I'm sure anybody with any interest in coming inside would have done a bit of research on it.
Neferani, you would know, at least from immediate recollection, that this was very close to the time of the Plague of Madness. In fact, it was 11 years before the Plague of Madness decimated most of the city.
So the plague was 2499?
Yes.
Okay. So he died before the plague.
And he lived a fairly long life.
And it's not a name that I would have heard before. Like, there's no names, right? There's no. Do we? I never received a name or.
No, nothing. I mean, you know that it is the tomb of a war general named Akhentepi. It's Akhentepi. I'll spell it out in the Twitch chat for everyone if they're curious. Akhentepi.
That's actually a bit of a good sign. Means this place was appear more clean than the plague.
Well, I mean, if he lived alone.
Well, I suppose.
Sure.
I mean, but when you look at it, right, they got the dates chiseled into stone, separated for a tomb that people shouldn't be entering on the regular. And this happened 11 years before the plague came through and wiped everyone out. We might actually be in a pretty good situation here compared to some of the newer groups.
There's more to be feared than a plague of madness. Though I do wish to know more about this plague. You say it started 11 years after this man died. 2499.
But that was like a million years ago. How many?
That's quite a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Like what's the current year?
Let's get that. I'll see if I can give you.
Yeah, where are we on this? Because Flappy Bird would have been around before this happened.
Definitely not Flappy Bird time.
Oh. I guess that depends on whether or not we get attacked.
There was
I'll do a lot of flapping.
It's actually longer than that. That's my misinformation there. From the year of the plague, the walls were built. Let me get that date for you. The walls were built 100 years after the plague, and since that, it's been 1,700 years.
Since the plague or since the walls were built?
Since the wall was built. So 100 years to build the wall, 1,700 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, 1,800 years since
So
the plague
it's-
started?
So it's
Yes.
43.99.
That's from my immediate understanding. Yes.
Okay.
What a deal!
My math skills are terrible, so I was like, I'm all but just looking for confirmation.
It's only $43.99.
Act now, and you'll.
God damn it.
It slices, it dices.
Plus tax.
Shipping and handling.
It does not slice and dice the tax, though.
4 installments of $43.99.
Call now.
For
We'll throw
your
in another
first-
one half off.
Abasi,
Yeah.
given that you have a history in particular knowledge areas, give me a knowledge engineering, please.
Oh my god, a thing I'm knowledgeable about.
I know.
Watch it be my first shitty roll of the night.
Critical fail.
Wait, you said engineering?
Yes.
Not a thing I'm knowledgeable about, but I'll pretend.
Well, you're the first to immediately assess the door. And from your best understanding, it doesn't really look like there's a way in.
Hinges make doors turn, man. No hinges can't get in. Door shut forever.
Right. Can I roll on this?
If you have knowledge engineering, yes, you can.
Does dungeoneering count towards the outside of the dungeon?
Negative. Negative, sir.
Yeah, let me roll on that one. I'm learned in that one.
Neferani can also make the check. She knows all knowledges.
Even though they're not checked?
Yeah, that's kind of in the bards thing. You have bardic
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 knowledge.
abilities. Yeah, you
Got
know
it.
just about everything. Not with that roll, you don't.
Plus one for birds.
No hingy. No open.
Yeah, you don't see hinges. You also see that the mortar along the seals and jambs have since kind of crumbled or been chipped away. It sort of looks like this place was meant to be sealed permanently, with no intentions of opening again.
Did you mean to roll?
Pilakka, we're gonna take your first one.
I don't mean to keep rolling twice. My character sheet's been real buggy. I'm trying to reload.
That's all right. No worries. You could immediately point that out. Traditionally, mausoleums were built to have visible hinges so that the door could outwardly swing and that you could see inside, but that is not the case. Everything has been dust-addled and sand has been like blasted into every crevice. This place is supposed to be sealed. It's supposed to be closed to the world.
Is it?
Is it sealed?
Yes.
As far as you can tell, nobody's been here in, well, 1,700 years. There are no telltale signs of anyone being here.
So they've given us a sealed tomb. How are we to open it? Pilakka's gonna. Did we already consider Read Magic having gone over this door and she checked
Yes.
everything?
Yes.
Okay. She's gonna start like sort of inspecting the door with her fingers.
You trace your hand around the edge of the door itself, and you are most certain that there is no magic here. Every time that you move your hand over any new area, you kind of break away bits of sand that has been stuck here from years of it just being blown up against the door itself. It's like sandblasted closed. So you realize that if there's ever an opportunity for you to break through here, to get these doors open, you will need to first and foremost shake away all the sand.
Oh.
Abasi's going to carefully take out his boot dagger and start checking the seams. He has no interest in breaking the door. He already knows that he doesn't want to desecrate anything, but if he can find a way that it was meant to open or a way to get in without completely destroying it.
Sure. You find that there isn't anything that looks like the door is supposed to be open, but the way that the walls have been designed, it seems almost as if the doors themselves are meant to slide inward. Like it's a door that is to be hidden in the wall. You're not sure how they've managed to get it sealed after so long, but there is nothing visible about its entrance here. Entry looks very difficult. That being said, you do find the seams. There is a very obvious split in the center of the doors, and you're able to break away enough sand that you can find the outlining. A pocket door, yes.
I will see if I can find a way to like push or slide on anything while I'm chipping away to see if maybe it wasn't sealed naturally, but sealed over time by just sheer wind force and sand over thousands of years.
Sure, give me a strength check. No, nothing. No give at all.
Can we see the bottom seam of the door? Like, or is there sand in front of it?
There's sand. Sand has been blown up to the point where it's probably about knee high on Abasi.
Okay, so I take out my trusty shovel and I start clearing away the base of the door to try to see if there's any type of like mechanisms or anything buried in the sand.
Sure enough, that's not a terrible idea. You manage to free the area. It takes you a moment, but you see the stranger move up, Xanjafar, and he starts pulling away all of the sand and kind of kicking it upward without care or regard to whomever is in the way. And it frees up enough space that you are able to see the entirety of the door. It is stone through and through. There isn't any give. There's nothing that leads you to believe that there is a break. There is no false bottom. There is nothing of a tripwire or a series of things that you must step on.
Okay.
Well, it clearly slides, so... And I'm going to start checking to see maybe there's something on the wall, if there's anything that's been worn away.
Sure.
Something that had to be placed or pressed. Something a key would have gone into.
Give me a new perception. Yeah, actually, give me a new perception.
Oh, thank God.
Wow. Okay, yeah. I set the DC at 25.
No.
Very, very good. You do find that there is some kind of indentation on the inner left side of the mouth of the door. Where the wall meets the door itself, there is what looks to be some kind of... you feel it. You aren't really sure what to make of it, but as you press down, and the sand seems to break away, that there is some kind of indentation here. It has since been sand-packed. You're not sure how long it would take to clear it out, but it is definitely some sort of locking mechanism.
I want to try to clear it out, but while I'm doing that, I want to kind of like look back at the party and be like, we weren't exactly given anything except for those ID chips. So I'm on the hope that they're actually keys. Because I found something.
I have
you don't have those chips anymore, like the tokens, they're gone.
No, the one she has.
Oh.
I just have, I have this.
The talisman.
I'm gonna, when he's clearing it away, I'm gonna like offer it to, so kind of just stand there. Like when he's done, he can, I don't know.
Well, yeah, because they told us to find it, but didn't give us anything but that. So it might be reasonable to assume that they had keys from way back somewhere and not just something to identify it with.
Sure. You realize quickly when you get the talisman that it's large and gaudy, and the entrance of this locking mechanism is very small, more akin to what you would see a small brass instrument, perhaps a key of some sort, or some kind of like we would say like a brass working tool, but nothing as large as this. Like this is borderline A small dinner plate or saucer, but it's probably 3 or 4 inches thick.
Well, I've discovered a thing. I'll be like, well, Donkor, you think that I don't want to break it. You're delicate.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't be wrong there, but has anybody took a closer look at the talisman? Maybe there's something else that we haven't seen about it.
Quickly glancing over it, cursory at first, you see that there is nothing that kind of leaps out at you immediately. Even further inspection, you just see that it's of recent construct. It's not this old. It's not as old as this building or this place. This was just something that was found in the hold of the Temple of Pharasma. They probably had it here for a very, very long time at the Grand Mausoleum.
Okay. All right, then. Well, I guess maybe chip away at trying to open that. And see any other way. If there's nothing on this talisman, the only other thing that we could see is perhaps looking around the rest of the tomb, besides just the entrance.
Just said...
Everybody is very well aware at the same time that while you must pay your respects to the dead and not destroy anything, that you're not supposed to destroy sarcophaguses, things that are naturally valuable. This door might be of consequence for grave robbing.
Well, then it's been here for a long time. It literally sandblasted itself out. I'll see if maybe I can cram the dagger in and get it to just work.
Oh, you mean the mechanism?
If the internals are damaged, I might just be able to use a dagger instead.
Okay, as you're saying this to Donkor, you place your dagger up to the mouth of this. You can see that he's quickly appearing to shove the dagger into the mouth of this mechanism.
I mean, I'm not gonna just go ahead of him. I can just,
I don't think it'll work, and I should definitely keep an eye out in case there was a trap of some sort. Well, give it a shot.
All right, well, I will slam it home and see if anything happens.
I'm gonna take a step back.
Give me a strength check.
Doors just blow off their hinges. Come on, nat 20. I want those doors to blow off their hinges. Just be like, what the fuck? Scroll over.
Damn.
You had a mundane dagger at best. It wasn't of the most masterwork quality, and as you take it, you fit it into the mouth of this mechanism, and you slap on the butt of it a few times. You realize that you managed to only shake bits of sand. Nothing is happening at all. In fact, you may be causing more noise than you actually may be affecting. You might even be damaging it more. You're convinced.
Well, that was useless. So perhaps we should look around then. Maybe there's another entrance.
Pilakka's going to scrape some sand into a pouch off of the door,
Sure.
Especially around the locking mechanism.
I gotcha.
I have disable device. It says on the codex or whatever that I can use that on any device, correct?
You can, yeah. This is one of those things that you can try to disable. Do you have Thieves' Tools?
I do have Thieves' Tools.
All right. Do you have Masterwork Thieves' Tools?
I have Masterwork Thieves' Tools.
Very good. Then you may make a check. Go ahead and click your disable device, and we add 2 to it because that's what Masterwork Tools will do for you.
Okay. Go.
Okay, let's see what you got here. All right. You find that you're able to break past some of the sand, but it's just packed too deeply. You find that you're not really sure that this is going to work, just because this kind of mechanism itself will require a clean entry, and well, it's been packed.
Right. Do I sense when I'm using, because I'm obviously I have this skill and I have really good tools. Can I sense that if it does get properly cleaned out, kind of like like on Jurassic Park where they're cleaning the dinosaur bones. Do I feel like it'll give way if we do properly clean this out, or is this something like I'm like, this is fucked, we need to find a different way?
Well, Xanjafar, you've never been one to be shy of admitting your own skill, and you rolled well. You rolled well enough anyway. You're convinced that it probably won't open. If you can't get it open,
no one can. Right?
Yeah, likely nobody can.
Okay, so I turn to the group and I'm like, well, we're gonna have to find somewhere else to
go. Is all we can see of this tomb is the door, and are there other buildings like adjacent to it, or can we like see the full outside, like walk around this building?
Yeah, you guys can take it inside outwardly if you wanted to walk around. It's, let's see, let me get a size for you here. Don't carry your characters around because it will give away things, and that's the last thing we want to do. There we go. It's about 40 feet long by 25 feet wide. And the sand has piled up on the left side of the wall, which probably favors to the wind sweeping in, or at least the morning wind sweeping in, carrying the dust up to the side of the mausoleum. The back side, it seems to taper off. There is no entrance. It is hard stone walls all the way around.
So this is the only way in or out?
Definitely.
All right.
So who knows? I'm gonna look at Abasi and Donkor and specifically, but who? There are rules in here. I heard discussion of, but I'm not super. I don't recall them all. What? I know this is a tomb, and we've been given permission to enter it. What's the guidelines on like just knocking the door down? Like if we do we do it respectfully? Like,
well, the thing is how do we knock a door down respectfully? Do you kick it? Do you blow it up?
All right. Abasi plants his sword in the sand, drops down to a knee, and says a prayer to his new god because his old god doesn't believe him at all.
Sure.
So, I will say a prayer to Megrim to protect the dead and forgive my transgressions. And then I'm going to pop my shield up and I'm going to shoulder charge behind the shield at the fucking door. Because if it has to break, I got to give it a shot. And if I can't break it, well, then we're back to a new attempt.
Sure. Let's see. Go ahead and give me a CMB. Click on your combat maneuver bonus. That's pretty good. Pretty good. You pull back, rear up your shield, and charge at the door itself. And as quickly as you've met it, it drives you backwards. You find yourself immediately falling. Give me a reflex. You stabilize yourself. As you struck the door, it kind of pinballs you off onto a lot of sand. And as you're kind of scaling back up, almost falling, you manage to stabilize and stop yourself from falling.
That fucking gift.
I hate it, but I love it.
Hey, that's revenge for the cat.
Oh, very good.
Big Dog Zero Door 2.
Very good.
All right.
Are you okay?
Well, it's not gonna bend or break under my weight, and I know the four of you not hitting it any harder than that.
But did you? I mean,
Pilakka.
Well, realistically, it's an 1800-year-old door. You never know.
Pilakka, Xanjafar, Donkor, not so much Neferani, because you were definitely watching the red light in the situation, which was Pinball Abasi. Pilakka, Xanjafar, Donkor, you see as he strikes the twin doors and bounces off, that sand seems to free itself from the inside of the pocket door itself. So basically the way this looks like is the doors would open like so. They wouldn't fold out or in. They move inward to the wall.
Okay.
Okay, so if they were, say, pry, per se.
Because I tried to push them open earlier, but
Yes.
Right.
You were trying to shove it open.
well, I was trying to slide it, but I couldn't pull it off with the strength check.
Gotcha. Perhaps if some of you strapping young types were to place something for leverage between the doors and then to wrench it open.
I mean, that could definitely work if, needlessly running into it doesn't work.
Otherwise, the dwarf can continue to throw his face into it.
Well, I'm about to throw somebody's face into it, all right. But in the meantime, and Abasi will pull his shovel out of his bag.
So
Does anyone have a crowbar?
No, I think
That's
we
what I
just
was
all
looking
have
for.
shovels.
No,
A lot of shovels.
I meant to get
got a
a
pick.
pickaxe, but I never did. I was
I've
really
got
hoping to
rope.
get a pickaxe.
Okay.
Crowbar's too heavy for Pilakka.
All right. Well, you realize that the shovels have a metal head, and the part that you hold is made entirely of wrought wood. So
Yeah.
it's likely that you might get somewhere before the wood breaks, but then you'd be out shovels.
What if we used multiple shovels? That way, we don't have to push so hard on the wood.
There's truth in that.
We can weld all the shovel heads together.
I mean, we just like somebody short, like Abasi can get in the bottom, and then middle sized, and then big sized, and then kind of jam three. Do we have 3 shovels?
I believe you guys did have access to 3 shovels, yes.
Yeah, I have a shovel, so
Yeah,
whatever you guys
I have one
brought.
too.
And I know that Bossy has one, so that's at least 3 there.
Okay, well, we could stack them,
All right.
tiered, I guess.
So this is what I propose, since you're already going to do this. I see that it's coming down to a strength check. I will decrease the difficulty because you're using a tool. You found a tool to assist you here. So the DC is going to be dropped. You need to select someone to lead the strength roll.
I would assume a bossy.
Abasi.
Right?
I don't know, the guy
Okay.
with the strength. I don't know.
I have a high dex modifier, but
All right. And Xanjafar and Donkor, you must both succeed in breaking 10 on strength checks.
Oh.
I'd like to see Donkor and Xanjafar do that now, please.
Can we rock paper scissors for who goes first?
Donkor took it. He beat it.
Okay.
Pilakka will also mix some of the sand from the door with some pungent resin, and then smear some of this mixture across Abasi's forehead and cast guidance on him.
Okay. All right.
Simba.
Donkor gives it everything that he's got to assist you. Xanjafar is not quite capable of getting his footing because of the sand. Abasi, you remember you do have luck reroll as well, Xanjafar. If you wanted to use that, you have 2. of them.
Yeah, I'll use my luck right here because we've been kind of messing with this door for a while.
And we're pretty close to the end of the session too, so we may as well burn through those rerolls.
So there goes.
That's much better. That's much better.
I like
Now,
that.
Abasi, this comes down to you. You've been given guidance. It's going to be +1 to one of your skill checks, or attribute checks in this case. So give me a strength.
And I look just like Simba.
That's very good. So it was 20 plus their aid in this, and it was enough. The DC was 25. DC was 25. You guys are able to pry the door open about 8 or 9 inches. Give me a perception, please, the 3 of you that are at the door.
I'm gonna
Abasi.
reroll that.
Okay,
Uh,
rip.
How many rerolls do we have? 2?
2, yeah.
Each.
Yeah, I
Two
might
each.
as well use. I would like to know what's behind the door. Never mind.
Abasi, you're the only person that catches this, but as the door seems to break right at this point, and the right door itself is the one that opens, the left one, impacted from sandblasting, is incapable of shifting. You hear something skitter across the stone floor, chitinously moving.
I am going to fucking grab my rogues and try and pull them back and reach for my sword that I planted in the sand.
Okay, all right. Give me reflexes, please. From Abasi.
Oh fuck. We're gonna Well, I got one more. Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, thank fuck.
That's good. That's good. You're able to reflexively pull them back at the right time. As the shovels fall, Abasi grabs you both by the back and pulls you away from the mausoleum. And about this time, a single strike of a scorpion's tail whips out. It seems to lash out at anyone at the door itself. You see this almost yellowed or opaque stinger with a black tip strike outward and hit the lot of sand. As quickly as that had been seen, it is now gone, and there is silence. Neferani and Pilakka, you saw this. Xanjafar and Donkor did not. Abasi only heard it.
Is the door open enough for something to come through?
The
8
door-
inches is a
It was-
lot. 8 to 9 inches.
Yeah, it's not.
I've got to literally have a ruler right in front of me. It is this.
Pilakka walks up to the door and then just kind of staying a safe distance from it, kind of like cocks her head to look like both eyes into the crack of the door, and then she just goes and casts burning hands into the seam.
Oh, wow. Okay. Go ahead. Let's go ahead and queue up Burning Hands. I need to know what my reflex is.
Well, it's a fine welcome at the front door, wasn't it? What's the bird doing?
Sorry to clap into the microphone.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's totally good.
It wasn't
Kind of a Full Metal Alchemist move.
All right. I get no reflex
Make
save
the
on this.
circle.
I mean, I can make the reflex save, but I get 0 addition. So,
If only
ooh,
you had gloves.
ooh. All right. Even or odd?
Odd.
Odd it is. You succeed. They do not make the reflex. It's 7 fire damage.
All right.
The moment that you bring your hands up and you commit to the burning hands, unleashing this cone of flame inside of the door, you hear something sizzle, this high pitch like, and then you feel something. Pilakka, something attempts to stab at your hand.
Oh God.
He's
Hey,
gonna
see
get
you later.
one shot by the first thing that we encounter.
He might.
I really might.
He might.
What
Oh,
a
for
useful character I made.
Ooh. Ooh, I whiff.
Oh.
I whiff. Luckily,
Yes.
4 does not hit your AC. Poison
Too fast.
is lethal.
Gotta be quicker than that.
As quickly as you fire the gout of flame inward, you hear this thing take the full brunt of your flames, and then it quickly retreats. You can hear it running around the room, this chittering of chitinous feet, trying to quickly put itself out. You see bits of sand kind of blast up out of the door itself before there is a pause. What do you do, Pilakka?
Pilakka stands aside, gestures to the door, and says, "It should be a bit safer."
How much is a bit? Like, are we talking a lot safer? Or like, did you kill whatever that was?
I have discouraged it from approaching us.
I'm from around here. Like, scorpions are pretty. I'm
my
assuming.
God! Okay, my rolls are fucking puke. Alright. I critical failed an attack, which means that I've got to break out the critical fail chart. Here we go.
The critical
Yes.
fail chart's my favorite.
What
Hope he
Is-
explodes.
is somebody like shooting quills through this door at us? What is
No.
going on?
You turned around. You turned around and spoke to Neferani, but you didn't dictate that you were moving. And it has reach.
No, I did. I did specifically say I stood to the side of the door, like to put my back to the closed part of the door.
Okay.
Like
all right.
she wouldn't turn her back to what she obviously knows is a threat. She's not that crazy.
Sure.
It's fried to a crisp. It's fine.
Still gonna take
It's-
this.
It's discouraged.
It's still gonna take this anyway. So you are gonna get to tell me when to
Okay.
stop. So you tell me when to stop.
stop.
Okay.
This happened in the middle of our conversation, and just like, so, like I'm like, oh, it's safer, and then this thing like slams back into the out of the crack. It's like still on fire.
I'm waiting for the tail to come out, and the crit fail is that the door like slides shut on it.
I need you to give me damage for Gidok's bite.
It's like a Matrix bite. Like
it's a failure called He Bit Your Fist. Your target deals bite damage to you.
Like from Ace Ventura.
Essentially, yes. Like that. Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
So Gidok reacts. It's a reactionary thing, and Gidok is going to bite down. So he delivers combat damage, which isn't much, mind you. I can actually find.
It's
that.
one. It's 1d3 minus 1.
So perhaps like nothing.
It's minimum 1 damage. Yep. It's 1 damage. Yeah. Gidok bites in, and you see. It's odd because the way that it seems to strike, it's like it whips around, like through the door and around to kind of like catch at you. And as you're saying this, you feel your robe moving. It's moving almost viciously so. And when you look back, something is chewing through your robes the tip of the scorpion's tail. And it's so targeted that as you see this, there is this gout of like yellow ichor that seems to burst into the sunlight. And the tip of the tail falls. There are bite marks in the tip of the tail. Gidok tore it off.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Don't touch that.
Oh, Pilakka wants to touch it.
Its tail is off. Its primary attacking instrument has been disarmed, and it's probably recoiling in pain. Abasi's going to use this time to try and force the door.
Okay, give me a strength check.
Yeah, can we assist
You
the
totally
door
can.
now that we see that it's
You
injured?
totally can. That's really, really good.
Just going to rip the door open.
Yeah, no, like
Yeah.
the moment that you start to assist him, he's placed his shoulder in there and an arm up, and he just shoves it another 10 to 15 inches, giving you just enough space that any one of you can run through.
Oh,
And it is at this time that you can see, I'm going to go ahead and place the creature outside around you. This charred ghost scorpion breaks through the entrance. It is about the size of a Doberman. It's a medium to large sized dog that is this ghost scorpion. Its tail is just dripping pus and venom over the back of its body.
Can I
And
stab it?
It comes
You
out,
just
yeah,
bring it
it
up
comes
to
out
me?
snapping. So yeah, the moment that this happens, go ahead and make an attack.
Fucking, where's my weapon? I can just click the weapon itself for this with the new system, right?
Yeah. 15. It does hit its AC, and wow, max damage. All right. Yeah, you cleave this thing immediately. It comes out, snap, 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 and immediately you bring down the Kopesh, and there is a crack of the carapace, and you see its legs kind of like jut up and almost move the same way that Pilakka's head does occasionally, but it's this odd twitching as it kind of arcs up, and it falls before you.
Oh, it's a ghost scorpion. That's all of an unfortunate sign.
Is it dead? Can we check if it's dead?
Will there be more of them?
Well, after he removes his Kopesh, it reveals that where there was once a single ghost scorpion, now there are 2 half ghost scorpions.
Pilakka spears.
Those count as more, by the way.
Pilakka spears the end of it with her scythe and or her sickle, excuse me. The end of the tail that came off and inspects it, holding it at a distance. What can you tell me of the venom of this creature?
Well, I think that's a question for Donkor rather than me from what I've picked up.
What knowledge would that be? Because I don't know if Donkor would know that right offhand.
Knowledge nature. Knowledge nature could help you here.
Okay.
Of course, you roll a 20. When I was like, nah, he's not going to roll a 20.
Well, that is from the subspecies, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It turns out we're all really smart.
All right. Let's see.
Oh, he knows.
Oh, yeah, he definitely knows.
Immediately, he just like goes blank-eyed, stares a million miles, and starts like immediately Pokedex voicing, "Go Scorpion."
Yeah. God damn it.
3 feet long.
8
kilograms.
The
Special
murder
attack.
stinger Pokemon.
Found in the Kanto region.
Play way more Pokemon if there was a murder stinger subtype.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what's coming in Sword and Shield.
Yeah. Right.
All right. You know
Pokemon,
that
I don't know, a fucking tank, I guess, has been my favorite one.
a ghost scorpion's sting has a lingering effect. When it strikes, it doesn't immediately take hold at the moment of strike. It's something that lingers for right around half a minute or so before its effects finally kind of stable off. They don't go away because you're poisoned, but it does lasting damage. It will weaken a man physically. Their strength drops. Mechanically, you're certain that it will make a strong man weak. It can lame an individual very quickly.
Okay, so it's the sapping strength kind. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Pilakka would like to try to transfer some of this venom dripping off the tail into a vial.
Donkor, go ahead and explain it in the best way that you can.
Oh,
I
I'm
was
sorry.
gonna say, well, the best way that I know of a ghost scorpion is, well, if that shit stings you, you're realistically not gonna do well. You probably should go home and cry.
It is a venom that causes weeping.
No, it will kill you.
Oh, yes. It is the kind that clots the blood, or perhaps sets the internal organs aflame, or rots the body.
It will well, I guess you could say it could probably rot the body. It makes you incredibly weak, that's for sure.
Oh, one of my favorites.
Options.
I'm always glad to be invited to your science class, but I tell you, you're freaking me the fuck out right now, so I'm gonna be in here. The bossy just walks in.
What you can describe?
But let's just say that I'm in favor of you actually taking the venom here.
Of course, whatever this creature developed this behavior for, it was for something in its environment, something that we could still find.
Oh, I could use it for definitely sure.
All you're finding in here is a goddamn door.
You would sell this? It is priceless.
No, I wouldn't sell it. Just think about how many people we could fend off with that.
I can think of how many people we could liquidate the organs of.
You know, Pilakka, I'm beginning to like the way you think sometimes.
You're
you
beginning
won't.
to freak me the hell out.
He has the right idea.
Abasi.
Listen, I'm just looking to survive.
This rectangular room is empty, save for some engravings and fixtures upon the wall. A pair of heavy stone doors to the north, which you have just come through, an immense stone wheel against the south wall. The air is stale, and a layer of dust and sand cover the floor, lying in a thicker layer to the south. All four walls bear sunk relief engravings and hieroglyphs, while small stone faces are affixed to the walls at about shoulder height in each corner. The stone wheel to the south is engraved with a large spiral and is set in stone tracks in the floor and ceiling.
Before we get into figuring out the next door, Xanjafar kind of pulls out his dagger, and then, like, as Pilakka is gathering the venom, kind of just like gestures like, "Hey, put some of that on this dagger, real quick." Not trying to get too much attention, but like, I want some of that nice
Some of that good.
I give it the good, just like
Give you a hit, like.
Do we let the new guy have a poison dagger?
Right while he's behind us.
Donkor, you know that he can coat his dagger all day long, but it must be a fresh delivery intravenously, essentially. It's got to break past the dermis and past musculature. It's got to hit like fresh blood. It can't be something that's applied later and delivered.
Yeah, it'll basically dry off, right?
okay, so it
Lose
expires.
its potency.
You gotta splash and stab, not splash lunch and stab.
You
So
see,
you just like touch me on the shoulder and shake your head. Or
I'm like, no, I'm gonna go. Donkor is gonna see this and he's gonna be, listen, I don't know what you're trying to plan, but that's not gonna work.
Pilakka just kind of like bats his dagger away. Just kind of like get that out of my face.
it was worth a try.
I certainly can't blame you.
Would I know based on my previous knowledge whether or not this will hold up when kept, when like preserved, like airtight?
Feasibly so.
Okay.
You at least have some methods as a witch that you can employ later.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe I like sprinkle a little like dusted something into it to keep it fresh. Yeah.
Now, this room that you have entered into exhibits hieroglyphs around you in its entirety, and it seems to depict the life of the tomb's enshrined occupant. Akentepi is a celebrated military commander, as you can see. He seems to preside over various garrisons full of willing warriors. The circular wall just in front of Abasi, it does seem to speak in ancient Osirian. Not physically speak, it doesn't say anything, but there is a warning in ancient Osirian on the wall itself. Can anyone here read ancient Osirian?
If I speak it and I'm literate, can I read it?
Yes.
Then yes.
If you, well, I mean, your story is a little different. You are trained in ancient Osirian. In fact, your tongue and dialect is probably very akin or familiar to that. It says, if you can understand this, in ancient Osirian, Akentepi's tomb is well defended, and those who defile it tempt the wrath of the gods. Additional warnings advise, the only thing the Lady of Graves despises more than a grave robber is the unsuccessful grave robber. With one final admonishment, turn back while you can.
That's a lovely way to greet guests, you know? It's nice of them to leave us out a letter.
Most tombs will have something to this degree. It is only a minor deterrent.
I mean, they're not going to say, hey, grave robbers, welcome. Right? Like, I would think that would be, we should be nice.
I certainly do not perceive it as an empty threat, but one we should have expected either way.
Well, it's good to know, though, that this general is exactly as high up the totem pole as I was looking for when I came to this city. But it's a little worrisome that they're very blatant with the we have traps and not the there might be something dangerous. They're not hiding anything. And that should worry you way more than anything else. A good trap is not a known trap.
The venomous sand creature was enough proof. Perhaps we should make with the grave robbing.
Maybe we should make with the grave inspecting first?
Yes, we will be doing our respectful grave inspection.
I like the sound of that much better.
Xanjafar, you have remained quiet up to this point. You've given them the opportunity to react as such, and you kind of peer around the room, taking in the sights.
Mm-hmm.
To you, things are a little different here. You're starting to pick up on some of the things that wouldn't be found in the possession of a normal individual. Their grave would not be decorated. Similarly, with this many gods, or what have you. Also, for what it's worth, we're going to go about a half hour longer to 12:30 since we started so late, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
You begin to see that there are other depictions of gods here. Gods that are fairly well known. There are various depictions of a god in the likeness of Anubis. In this time, this is the ancient Osirian god of burials and mummification. You also note that the door itself that Abasi is finding himself against, it is the symbol of Pharasma, which decorates the entire Grand Mausoleum. The corners of the room have these silver stylized, what one might say is some sort of torch holder, if you will, a sconce of sorts. But it looks like it is designed in a way that looks like a flames blast.
As in, I would light it with a torch?
You could place a torch there, yes, and it would remain lit, yes.
Okay. Can I use knowledge dungeoneering to see if there's, like, if I put it in something that's not supposed to be there, it's not going to set off a trap? Or is that...
So, are you suggesting that you want to search for traps?
Yeah, around the devices in the corners, I guess.
Okay, all right. What skill would you use to look for traps?
Wouldn't it just be knowledge dungeoneering, or does it not expand to traps specifically?
Knowledge dungeoneering would help you identify many things about the dungeon itself, but if you're specifically looking for a trap, you might use...
let's see.
What skill here? If you've been looking for anything up to this point, what skill have you used most?
Disable device.
When you were looking for the party, what can you recall?
Just perception.
Yeah, perception. That's it.
So it's just straight up perception?
Yeah, it's going to be a perception check.
Okay. I guess I'll use a perception check to check for any traps around the devices around the room.
Go for it. Yeah, Xanjafar, it takes you a moment inspecting each sconce itself before you find that one of them, in the mouth of the sconce holder, or the location that the torch is meant to sit, there seems to be some kind of device. It looks sort of akin to like a metal lip. This is unlike all of the others.
So does it look like it's something I can grab? And
it's sort of like something that that you might depress in, like a sconce is meant to sit and trigger. It could be a trap. It's so high up and you don't have access to it. It's one of those things that you just felt. Because these are high up. These are high up in the room. Like, the ceiling itself is probably 10, 12 feet away, and this is up high enough that an individual would have to place, like they have to reach upward and place the torch in.
So these are probably like a good 6 feet off the ground where I'd have to like tippy toe put it in.
Probably a little higher than that even.
Okay. So I guess I'll turn to the group and be like, I found something over here, but I'm unfortunately not tall enough to reach it. So would anybody want to give me a boost?
How tall are you?
I'm 5'8".
Oh, okay.
I didn't think that my height would ever play a role in this. What is it that you need help with again?
There seems to be a mechanism in this corner that I found, and it looks like if I place my torch, it might trigger something to maybe open the door.
So I can use a dungeoneering check here right before I help him out with that, right?
What would you use dungeoneering for?
To inspect the actual mechanism itself.
Well, you would need to be able to actually be able to see it in its entirety, and it's just outside of your immediate vision. You could jump several times in hopes that you catch it quickly enough, but if your perception is lacking, you may miss out on details.
You could always stand on the dwarf.
That's definitely an option. Have someone boost you up.
Okay.
It's a really nice way of saying stand on the dwarf.
Yeah, then let's do that.
Doors are just walking step ladders.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So are you guys boosting me or am I boosting you?
Because the ask was Ryu's character asked to be basically to be boosted.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
All right, well, perhaps you could stand on a bossy for this.
Okay, sounds good.
You know, it's wonderful to know that the whole world wants to step on my neck, and you guys are lining up to stand on my back.
Well, listen, you're the only one strong enough to hold this human.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying a little bit of variety is the spice of life, you know? Yeah, I got it. Abasi will drop down to his hands and knees and be like, get on my back.
Sure. It's enough that it boosts you up about 1.5 to 2 feet. And it gives you clear vision of the sconce placement itself. And you can see that there is some sort of brass lip inside of the mechanism where you would normally set a torch.
Okay, so now that I can fully see everything, I can use the dungeoneering to perceive it, or would I use perception?
Put your dick in it.
Put your dick in it. I don't want to be down here for whatever.
I wouldn't do that. I would not do that. It's not a smart move.
I just pee on it just to mark my territory, just so people know when we come back, if we have to come back.
There's lots of trickle down. Abasi might be in trouble.
It's okay. He's got a beard. He can wipe it off.
Trickle down never works.
Give me a perception to see if you can see what else it might be linked to.
Okay, so to see the full... Now that I can actually see it.
Yep, now that you have
looks like
proper
a
vision.
really long bomb fuse.
It's got like this long rope that leads to this explosion type thing.
Just gonna light it and see what happens.
I'm gonna hold my candle really close. Yikes.
You're not sure. You know that it has some purpose, that it serves a purpose for certain, but you're not sure. It's been protected by the walls for so long that it's not been stained or tarnished from sandblasting for years, decades. Now it sits, waiting. It seems to have a hinge on it. You can see that much as there is a break in the brass. It is meant to be depressed.
I guess I... Huh?
He said it was meant to be depressed.
I guess I just put my torch in it.
Sure.
And then see what happens.
All right.
Torch.
The moment that you place your torch inside of the sconce itself, as soon as it triggers the brass lip, the door, this enormous door, begins to slide to the right-hand side. It begins to shift immediately, and there is this very large, audible noise about the whole situation. Kind of spells a sense of foreboding. You get that sense anyway. Might be this
Spells?
one. Now, let's go with this one. As it slides out of the way, it reveals a new room. The square room is starkly devoid of any markings or adornment. In the center of the chamber's floor, a square shaft drops straight down onto darkness. A faint, musty odor rises from the pit. A single piton has been hammered into the stone floor by the northeast corner of the pit, and a dusty length of rope dangles from the piton into the darkness of the shaft. Each of you can walk through to the next room, and if you decide to make that leap, I'll pull you to your true dungeon.
Oh boy.
I would like to shoot. Do I have any torches?
I have a lantern.
Can I see how far down it goes?
Yeah, actually.
So I wanted to do. I want to cast light on a torch so that it's not on fire, so that if there's anything down there that can be burned, it's not burned.
Okay.
So Donkor, may I have one of your torches? I have an idea.
I don't have a torch, but I do have a lantern.
Anyone have a stick?
I will just hand you one of Abasi's torches.
Okay. So I'm going to. Do I need to hit it? It's level 0.
Oh, you're just gonna hit it with light? Yeah. Then
Yeah, I'm just gonna hit the stick with the torch with light and drop it down the hole.
How do you do it? What does Neferani do? Like, what is her own use of the magic? Does she just snap her fingers? Does she like sneeze at it? What is your go-to to make it light?
That's a good question. Oh, I have to come up with something really good. But for right now, I'll probably I'm not going to throw a credit card at it. That's for sure.
It's standard girlfriend.
I'll take it though.
I played Black Desert. That's all I do is throw credit cards at things.
Play your bongos with it.
Yeah, I'll just kind of wave my hands over it because I'm still not kind of confident in my abilities, and then cast the spell and drop it down the.
Sure, you move your hand around it several times, and then it immediately will catch to a light. It seems dim at first, but then it's just shining. The moment that it catches light, it illuminates the room around you. You can see everything immediately, but when you peer down into the shaft, it seems to go further than your light extends. Do you drop it?
Yes.
Okay. You drop the lit torch, in this case, not by fire, but by magic, and it seems to fall. Not tremendously long, but it falls about 50 to 60 feet. You see that there is blood on the floor where it has landed.
What?
A length of rope extends down the largest part of this shaft, the corridor. It does not go its entirety.
How old's the rope?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if it was 1800 years.
It's dated, very, very dated.
It's
already like the moment that you begin to kind of pick it up, it begins to fray in your fingertips.
Did there seem to be any reaction down there to the torch?
Negative.
So we didn't hear anything other than the torch hitting the ground.
That's correct.
Okay.
Could just light my lantern and take another rope to, lead it down. Maybe we could see something else.
We should be careful on our descent, but something tells me we must go if we wish to explore.
Well, I this is the only other, like, there's, in terms of egress, there's the front and this hole, correct?
I think so.
Okay. Yes.
Are there any markings on the walls near us, or
just more depictions of the enormity of this character?
Okay. But there's like no like like random IKEA shelves or anything like that.
Negative.
Okay. It's just the same figure painted throughout, or I guess engraved throughout.
That is
wall.
correct. Yes.
How so there's blood on the floor, but there was no noise, audible noises, no.
Aside from it falling, negative.
Okay. And how big is the hole?
It's 10 by 10.
Okay.
I see where you're going with that.
I'm pretty dexterous.
So wait, do all of us have rope?
I don't have rope.
I do have rope.
Yeah.
How many people? So 4 of us have rope. Is it a possibility that I don't even know what skill you would need to use for this, but we could make
Boy
a
Scouts
rope ladder?
A rope ladder? That would take you a while.
A while to make.
You could knot the rope, but by knotting the rope, you will decrease its length.
Right.
It would make it easier for you to climb up and down, but yes, you may knot the rope if you wanted to.
So would it? I wouldn't expect it to. If it was 50 or 60 feet, I wouldn't expect it to decrease it by half if I knotted my rope.
No,
correct?
it's generally by about 5 or 10 feet, and you know that rope in its standard length is about 50 feet long.
Yeah, I have 50 feet on me, so we could easily combine our ropes to have a knotted one. Have muscly Abasi pull the knots real tight, and then somebody's probably gonna have to carry my old ass down.
Yeah, because my thinking is if there is anything down there, I want to be able to get the fuck out quickly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, use the knots to get up.
Yeah. Who's gonna go down first?
It would make sense. Well, it's a 50-50. It would make sense to send me because if something is down there, I can hold my own, taking hits wise the longest. But I'm also the one that it would make the most sense to carry the bird down, which is the last person you want in the front line.
As you guys are discussing this, Pilakka starts gesticulating and casts dancing lights. And three light orbs kind of come out from her hands, start whirling around her head, and she sends one down into the pit to sort of hover over where the torch was and just sort of bob luringly and tantalizingly just to see if anything comes biting.
Sure. No, there is no response at all. Nothing seems to react to the lights. You realize that the space, like you have some limitation because it may go so far, but because you can't see, it can only just dip out of the range.
Okay. Well, I suppose there's blood down there, but it does not seem fresh. Whatever created it must have moved on. I think we are safe at least to descend.
I think that Donkor or Xanjafar should go first.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, well, Xanjafar it is.
Perfect.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
That's so character accurate.
Xanjafar, you immediately get the sense that you drew the short straw.
Yeah. So I kind of shrug my shoulders and start on the knotted rope, and then I guess I collect it from the other two and make you. So I would need to at least collect it from one person, right?
Yeah, I think we.
Yes.
Okay, so I just collect it from whomever and make the rope. Is there anything that I can secure it to structurally? Like, is part of the door still there from the one we just walked into?
You guys don't really have anything to tie it down to. What they were using was a piton, which is essentially like the climber's tool that you kind of jam into the stone and wedge there so you can.
Could Abasi use one of my iron arrows to try to wedge it down?
I mean, feasible you could, but it's still not entirely made of iron. That's just the end of the arrow itself. Yeah.
And is it a stone floor that we're on?
That's
or
correct.
Sand?
It's stone.
Stone floor.
What was the other rope tied to?
It was pittoned down.
Okay, so could we use the original?
Feasibly.
Can I make a perception check to see if it's gonna I'm gonna start climbing down and not plummet?
Unfortunately, looking at it is not one of those ways that you can determine if it's going to hold you. It's one of these things that you would have to reset it yourself to either convince yourself or just trust it.
What skill check would it be to reset it in a more secure, like just a double check?
Drive it into the stone. That's going to be a strength check.
Oh.
I happen to know a guy.
I guess I turn to Abasi and I'm like, so if I'm the first one going down, would you mind securing this thing for me so that I can venture into the unknown?
I suppose I could be convinced of it.
You know, we all kind of need to go down, so I would suggest you just do it.
Yeah, and you're
I was pedaling for time while I found the strength check button.
Around like, really?
you're probably going to be last with the bird, so probably want to make sure it's really well, placed in.
All right, Vilma, I got this.
Abasi, it definitely makes sense, all things considered, because you are 100% the heaviest here.
Oh, yeah.
If you drop me, I will probably die, and then I shall be very cross.
Yes,
Again, you'll be very cross because we'll put you on the sand with a tiny little cross at you, tiny little bird bones.
That bird is not dying today.
Perhaps. I appreciate the pledge of confidence.
I don't want any of us to die. Anyway.
Abasi, you drive the piton into the stone, convincingly enough that you would feel safe going down. It looks good.
Living 15,000 years, then dying because some asshole dropped you.
This is what happens when you start trusting other people.
Xanjafar,
Not wrong.
They drop you in holes.
the pitten is wedged in. I will need for you to give me 2 dex checks. So click on your dexterity. This is you tying down the rope to the pitten itself, and then noosing your ropes together.
Okay.
It looks good for the initial pitten. It
All right,
looks
there
good.
we go.
Yeah,
Fucking flex.
looks good.
All right, solid. I'm not going to die.
He thinks.
At least from the
He
rope.
kills all of us.
He sticks his foot down and fire.
These fucking kids just keep coming out here and committing suicide all over my property.
That's some Tucker and Dale right there.
Watched that last night for movie night.
Yeah, I fucking love that movie.
That movie's great.
Xanjafar, give me a climb.
Okay. So I guess I start. You know, I make one tug on the rope just to make sure because of my paranoia.
Yeah.
Whole thing snaps.
I fall and die. All right, it was good, guys.
He lines himself up at the edge and he's like, "Here we go," and he tugs it, and he just starts to fall back. Oh dear.
Wait, was I supposed to tie that down?
Just put my arms out.
This-
And fucking...
Very quickly goes from a regular comedy to a comedy horror movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started shimming my way down.
Sure.
Kind of just looking around as I go down because I'm pretty good at getting in and out of places. So I have confidence in my climbing abilities, at least down.
All right,
So
give me a climb then. Let's see what you got.
I shouldn't have said that.
He looks stoic in his resolve. Let's see if he
Confident.
holds that while he falls.
With no rerolls. So confident.
Let's see those.
God. Why'd you say anything, man?
I don't know. Whatever.
Showing
I guess
off and falls.
I guess I drank way too much for my own good.
Oh, that's perfect. That's super good. Okay.
I at least make a saving throw with my foot.
Yeah, there are saving throws to help you. It's
Okay.
It's every 30 feet. Every 30 feet.
Oh,
So
yikes.
luckily it's a 60 foot fall. So he immediately lines himself up with the edge, drops down to one knee, and he tries to use his heel to grab onto the rope. Or at least the knot itself. And when he tries to hit it, he thinks he's got it, and there is rapid descent. When I say rapid descent, you're very, very well aware that he falls.
Abasi just like grabs the ledge and looks down and goes, I've known him for 5 minutes and he's already killed himself.
Xanjafar, give me a reflex save. Setting the DC at 14. Oh my God.
I mean,
Where is that on your climb?
You just Neo the rope, you're
He
falling.
wanted to stick the landing.
I wanted to show off.
I pretended
Like, I
to
gotcha.
fall.
Very good reflexes. Yeah, you reach out and grab onto the rope. Your body quickly swings into the stone wall. I need you to give me another reflex to stabilize yourself. It's one of those things where your body just crashed in, right?
Ooh,
Very
Hawk.
good. Yeah, you're going to take. Let's see here.
so I'm like the drunken master. I look like I fall and then I'm back up.
This is impressive. It really is.
Slash R space. 6. It's 6 superficial, so you're taking subdual damage, right? This is temporary. You will heal a point every round. You essentially just whacked your noggin
Right,
really fucking hard.
Like
Yeah.
Peter Griffin.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yes. Yes, this is
But am I
30
far enough
seconds
down
on the
that they don't really know how hard I hit my head though?
Oh, no. They are, if they're watching, they're well aware how hard you
Fully aware.
smacked.
Okay, cool.
Abasi turns to Pilakka. You think an echo like that means his skull is hollow?
I'm just gonna shout down the shaft. I swear we didn't see most of that.
I heard a hearty thwack.
I yell up, I'm fine. I'm fine.
I at least saw a portion of that.
I'm gonna go down second.
Okay. Another climb, please, from Xanjafar, and first climb from Neferani.
Okay.
Oh God, please land on him.
Oh yeah, I'm not waiting. I'm really eager, so he's probably just whacked his head and is like finishing his descent when I'm like,
Let's go.
Perfect.
There we go.
Very good. You are able to.
These rolls, though.
Luckily, no, it's not hard, right? It's hard to fail this because you guys took the time. You said that you're going to knot the rope, and it's hard to fail this. It just happens that he rolled very low on his first roll. Xanjafar, you'll make it down just fine.
Okay. Can I even because I was successful? Can I? Am I still kind of dazed from hitting the wall?
Certainly, you're a little dazed. Let me explain this room to you. I'm going to take your token and I'm going to drag you to the room. Okay.
Okay.
You land just inside, and what you see before you: mirrored images of a warrior in side profile, facing inward. On this inside of the carved, an ornate pair of stone doors in the west wall of this square room. The figure is depicted wearing padded armor with a scarab-shaped shield on his arm facing the viewer, and a raised khopesh held aloft in the other. A crumpled humanoid body lies at his feet directly in front of the doors. A hint of decay hangs in the air, and a dried stain mars the stone floor under the body. A square shaft in the ceiling leads straight up under the darkness, where you can now see Neferani descending.
So the body is fairly fresh, correct?
Let's see. Negative. It is not. This is just what I had access to. There's only so much that I'm capable of doing. This is it's actually skeletal and withered. You can see that it hugs onto the bones very, very tightly. So this person has. It's been less than 1,700 years, but more than recently for certain. All things considered. However, you don't know how long or what those doors above were capable of doing. You're not sure if it kept out the elements, because elements are what really kind of tears into the body. Elements and bacteria, decay, that kind of thing. There's definitely decay in this room. And Neferani, as you descend, you get that smell. It's the smell of death. Neferani, one more climb, please. Very good. You descend. I'll drag your token next to his. From here on out, though, you guys will have to take control of your tokens. Who is next? Who would like to get down here?
Looks like I'm next, since you have to carry the crow, lady. All right. Let's do this.
Okay, give me a climb, please. Very good. You just masterfully begin your descent. That's a critical success. Go ahead and give me one more. Wow! Holy shit! That's back-to-back critical successes. You just Kurt Russell this all the way down. You don't even use your legs, right? You're just free-falling, catching the rope.
Like that one guy who shows off in gym class.
Yes.
Well, now who's showing off, right? You're like, I'm going to do it. Ow, ow, fuck, ow. And he just Spider-Man's down. Didn't even touch the rope. He just kept kicking off the walls.
Right. You guys just couldn't see it. That's what I did too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I want you
I
to
like
note,
reflexes.
I want you to note, though, that you used those critical successes on probably the most mundane of tasks, and it won't happen again.
He wanted to make me look bad as the other rogue.
He says, "Will he back to back crits the boss and kills it before we can even touch it?"
I will weep. Okay, I will weep. All right, Abasi, Pilakka, are you helping out in any way? Are you offering him moral support?
As he picks me up, Pilakka's going to look at him with her one good eye and say, "I have lived for some millennia now. It would be a shame for it all to come to an end because of a butterfingered dwarf. But I have the utmost confidence in you, my boy." And she gives him a hearty pat on the shoulder and casts guidance on him again.
Oh, Magram, I wouldn't be too upset if I fell on that one. But, maybe keep me alive until I can fulfill my goals.
Wait until you're bleeding. You will say differently of my abilities.
While her weight isn't as impactful on you, especially because you're a dwarf,
I weigh 60 pounds.
He was 60 pounds.
She certainly applies this awkward maneuverability to you, so it's going to increase the DC slightly. I'm going to set your climbing DC at 12.
For anyone who is wondering, I have a negative roll on climbing.
Can we like put like a fireman like level like blanket, like hold it
On a tarp.
right? Like I have a bedroll. Like,
Do you have any luck rerolls, Abasi? I'm curious.
I used one on the door, and I used one on the bluff. So
Okay.
no.
All right. So
Oh god. I have 2 if anyone cares, but
I'm -2 on climbing. So
wow, that bird corpse sure does have a lot of rerolls.
we are, for what it's worth, we are two subs away from unlocking that extra reroll. If just in case you need it, we are over time. I don't want to hold my players up very long, and I know that you guys do have other things going on. So
yeah, I gotta sprint as soon as we're done.
yeah, I figured as
But
much.
we can do this.
Give me a
Yeah,
climb.
I saw that beard stroking. We all know where you're sprinted to.
Yeah, Dairy Queen to get food.
That's what it's about.
Before they close in 25 minutes.
I've seen the DQ stroke. Yeah.
That is true sincerity right there. From one fat kid to another, I recognize the struggle.
now I want Dairy Queen, so thanks.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And there it is. Actually, Little Bunny actually subbed in 2 new people.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bunny, for
Little Bunny.
activating the third. Southern Justice and Bung Monkey. Wild name. You guys are officially subscribers.
Bung is insane. That dude streams in like a PC graveyard surrounded by CRTs. It's crazy.
I'm jealous.
Just remember, if you start to feel a little bit like you're falling, spread your wings and flap like your life depends on it.
I'll see what I can do.
All right, I'm gonna try and climb down.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, there is no aid from her in this situation.
Big money, no whammy.
There's a +1 from guidance.
Yep, there is a +1 from guidance. I'm only
Come on.
-1 now.
Yeah, come on. It's not under exaggerate.
Before you roll,
Yeah.
I feel like it is important to note, I'm going to take a look at your character sheet, because I think that this is the case.
Oh, that I'll
You-
survive the fall. Yeah, but he's dead.
Oh, no. Hell, you might not even survive the fall. In this situation, you have all of this burden. You have these negatives because of your weight.
Yep.
If you drop, it's important to note, if you drop your backpack, you won't have this negative.
I mean, I can drop my backpack, but before I do that, I have to take out the oil flasks and the firebomb because they're the
God damn it.
they're the only.
Wait, why?
I don't want to die.
Abasi's like,
The
these are the only
breakable
people that
things.
realize that I actually still live. Goodbye. And drops them right
No, I need to take them out and put them on my belt so they don't fall with the bag and break.
Sure, that makes sense.
Wait, but you put them on your belt so that if you do die, you kill all of us.
Well,
Explode,
Abasi
right?
believes in everyone's fair turn.
Okay.
So you're saying if this wasn't brought up, there was a chance that we would both get on the rope and then fall down and explode.
I think that chance exists either way. Because he's either dropping it or wearing it. So unless he leaves them at the top, we're gonna TPK if he falls. Literally.
I knew I should have took the flight hex.
Bring it. Do it.
I'm so
Let's see what happens.
I knew
I'm
it.
so excited
This
to roll
is
new
my
characters and walk
favorite.
past our corpses.
Favorite. Oh, look at that cute cat.
KO
Has
does
anyone
not look
seen
thrilled.
Chadwick?
KO does not look
I'm-
thrilled at all.
here for
I'm
this.
for it. Let's do this, dude.
That's the best thing. Like, yeah, like no one wants to lose a character, but you also don't want to play a boring ass game, so go for it.
Abasi, do you remove all of your breakables?
Yeah, I got my breakables and I'll drop the bag with the rest
Okay.
of the crap in it.
That's likely going to drop you by about 70 pounds. Do you drop your sword and shield as well?
Yeah, I don't need them.
Okay, you're going to drop to about 60 pounds. So you will actually decrease. You'll come down to your light load. It's not going to hit you the same way. You will be able to use your max dex bonus on this. So
plus the 1.
your climb is currently... Why do you have a... Oh, it's -2. Why do you have -4? No! -6.
This is a lot of buildup for 2 critical fails in a row.
Listen, okay. I'm gonna use you like a kite. I'm gonna fly in hang glider style.
Link in Breath of the Wild.
You're at least gonna drop off 3. I'm pretty positive you're gonna drop off 3 here.
Okay.
Oh, that's it. You're wearing heavy armor. It's your armor.
You want me to drop my armor down the hole too?
Well, I mean, you're still wearing clothes beneath it, so...
That's true. It's true. I learned really early on, you don't go completely bare in steel. You'll chafe like a motherfucker.
So do you drop your armor?
Sure. Fuck it. I can rearm down the hole.
Yeah. All right. You notice some belongings start falling from above.
Yeah, I turn to everybody that's down there with me. Like, does he always strip naked before climbing rope? Or
I'm just going to step out of the way.
Yeah, I have already actually moved my token as far to the corner as I can.
yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
And then this whole time you're just hearing like the clang of armor pieces falling 60 feet.
Yeah.
Those like pots and pans.
I'm sure that sword's going to be extremely usable if we all survive this.
Perfect. Okay, now that we have this, we are going to subtract your negative. You're not going to have a -6 to your climb. So whatever you roll, we are going to add 6 to.
Oh, good. Oh, good. All right.
Technically,
well,
it's 7 with her guidance.
Yes.
I wish everybody the most of luck, especially when this firebomb hits this oil bomb and we're in an enclosed space with, may I add, for anyone who has seen Goblin Slayer, I have in my bag, you'll notice, fine grain flour. Anyway, we'll be fine. Don't blow up. Don't die. It'll all be wonderful. Yay.
I can't even watch.
You rolled a 17. Halfway home.
Well, good. This fall won't kill me. It might still kill Pilakka, but...
If you fall on an...
Oh, if I blow up, right, I could still kill everybody. You're right.
What
You're
wouldn't
right.
kill
it's good that we
Pilakka?
talked about this.
You rolled even better, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
Very good.
Palaka the whole way down is just like tapping him on the head, like, be careful! Like not helping at all.
Listen, I would have shapeshifted. I'm gonna live this.
You've descended
And I'm going to
downward.
immediately start rearming myself.
All right. Now, I know that some of you desperately need to leave to get food. We still need to do a brief post-show wrap-up, so I'm going to give you guys an opportunity here. This is where we're going to call the session to move on to that. Go ahead and start shouting yourselves out. We'll start with KO. Tell us about you. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
What's up, guys? My name is Kaoiji. You guys can find me on twitch.tv/Kaoiji. You guys can also subscribe to TheBubbernaut with Amazon Prime subscriptions.
My dude!
and yeah, that's really about it. Next game we're going to be playing is Left Alive, which is either going to be really good or really bad. So,
very good. I'm very excited for this. Ryu, tell us about you. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
My name's RyutheRed. I'm RyutheRed on Twitch. I stream a lot of MMOs, and I don't know. I like butts. That's all I got. I'm really hungry and want Taco Bell.
You've got my sub. Perfect.
And butts.
Next, we've got Blacklight. Tell us about you. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
Hey, I'm Blah. I don't stream regularly anymore, but I did just start a playthrough on my channel on twitch.tv/BlackLightAttack, spelled just like that, of Final Fantasy VIII, one of my favorite bad games of all time. And we're just kind of going through and analyzing the incredibly nonsensical story. And most of the reason we were running so late today, I'm so sorry to everybody for disrespecting your time. I promise not to do it again. I'll set an alarm.
I don't think anybody's mad, man.
You should be.
We're moving through it. Neferani is played by Imperialgrrl. Tell us about you. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
Hey, I'm Misty, twitch.tv/Imperialgrrl, 2 R's. I'm actually in the middle of sewing this great bag, which says, act like a lady, curse like a fucking sailor. So that should tell you the type of things I sew.
Nice.
And so you can find me there. I stream all the time. And don't forget, you can sub to BubberNaut for free with Twitch Prime. Just connect the accounts. I'm happily copying that because it should happen. All of you do it now.
God love you, Misty. All
Prime
right.
sub up.
Abasi has played by JDScientize. Tell us about you. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
Hey guys, I'm over at JDScientize, if that wasn't clear enough. We're in the middle of an appreciation month on my channel right now, so we're doing themed weeks. We're just starting Zombie Week right now. We did a 24-hour stream on Sunday playing The Last of Us in a single sitting. I got more of those planned every Sunday. We got movie nights on Monday all this fucking month. I got a whole graphic on my Discord and my Twitter that'll show you what I'm up to. I love you faces a whole lot. And remember, the thing that Bub wants the most in life is for you to go to benbriggs.net.
God damn it. Oh, I hate you.
Oh, I love Ben.
Oh man, that's good. Thank you guys so much for coming to play episode 5. If you are new here or if you've come from one of their channels, I'm Bub, TheBubbernaut. I am their dungeon master or storyteller, game master, what have you. I'm here depicting their fuck-ups in mechanical form. So if you're new, hit the follow button. If you like what we do here, consider supporting. Check out patreon.com/TheBubbernaut and do the damn thing. If you wish to keep the stream alive and keep the dream alive, support there. Also, check out all those other cool places, the free Discord, the Facebook, the Twitter, YouTube, where all of this stuff goes up in 24 hours. And, yeah, this looks good. Also, for what it's worth, on the Patreon, we put up all of the character generation videos. And we were also able to put up all of the backlogged post shows. So patrons at the $10 level or higher get to hear about all the shenanigans that we go through during our game and what we think is actually going on. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm really excited about it. And very soon, you will see the character sheets go up. I just need life to slow down real quick because it's been popping off and I'm just not ready. Okay, I'm just not ready. But that's it, guys. We're gonna wrap up there. Thank you for coming out. Love your faces and take it easy, man. Be kind to each other, folks. We're out. Peace.